Here's an AMI This Week shortcut with Alex Smythe.
Since dedicating himself to making Canada's paracycling team, 28-year-old Nathan Clement spends most of his days on a bike.
For me, cycling has always been a major part of my life. I always thought about racing and doing it competitively, but really, as I was riding, it was like, I love this kind of endurance distance riding, but I realized that I still have that physical capability in me to at least compete, at least perform.
Nathan, who has limited mobility on his left side due to a stroke caused by chickenpox at age 2, decided to ride across BC on his bike. But help was never too far off, as Nate's father rode in a support car and remembers the bumpy start to the trip.
He took a route that, little did he know, that it was totally under construction. So he ended up having to walk his bike for a long ways. And in the morning it was like, okay, we're going back and dropping you back off where I picked you up. You're going to take over where you left off. And then he did. And they never turned back.
The idea for the trip across BC came while Nate was solo backpacking across Asia, Australia, and Europe, and noticed the world of possibilities traveling by bike afforded him. So he decided to give it a try closer to home.
I started in Fernie and rode all the way to West Vancouver.
He undertook the backpacking trip as a way to recharge his batteries after making the decision to leave his first love of swimming. His mom Janet remembers when he first started competing at age 15 and how people quickly took notice.
But just naturally a good swimmer. He just was fluid in the water. We had a phone call from the Canadian Paralympic swim team, and they said, we want to go and see Nathan and we want to test him and see what his abilities are. We think there's a possibility we could kind of get him on a path. And so that was kind of like a really happy day. I was like, oh my goodness, you know, maybe there's a possibility.
I've always had that dream of going to a games, of representing Canada, being able to wear that maple leaf on my leg and on my head with the cap. But for me, it really started to come into effect as we were getting closer and closer to the Rio cycle.
Going in lane 8 for Canada, Nathan Clement.
Nate's coach, Norman Ning, saw his drive as soon as he joined the team.
Nathan was determined. He was definitely the hardest worker in the whole group, and you never had to tell him to work harder, right? If anything, you had to tell him to pull it back a little bit.
Nathan's former teammate Wyatt knows to never count him out, no matter the odds.
He just knows how to fight, like mentally strong, physically strong, obviously, but it's just the mental will and like strength. Like I've never met someone who can take whatever cards they've been given, regardless of the situation, and they can play them to their best advantage.
And sure enough, that drive and belief in himself helped Nathan land a spot on the roster and the chance to swim for Paralympic gold in Rio.
So Nathan Clement for Canada is the next in the pool.
It is one of those things that you can never take away now.
That was probably the happiest day of my life.
He'd always had this goal that he wanted to qualify, and when he did, it was a no-brainer for us to be there. We had to be there.
So the gun went and he came in 7th, and it was just, yeah, just amazing.
Despite the success in the pool, Nathan was struggling in other areas of his life.
A lot of the emotion, a lot of the pain I was going through, I would let out in that water, where I would not be able to walk, and just kept a lot of my emotions, kept it all inward, and I let it fester, I let it grow, and it led me to some very dark places, and I'm very, very grateful to be alive today.
One of his friends phoned me and said, I think you should know. And I said, thank you for telling me. I wasn't as aware. I just thought that you don't fool around with this.
That conversation can start to happen. My inner circle would know more and more and more, and as I talked in that inner circle, people would share their stories too. And it would very much become a story of togetherness and understanding that you have people there.
These days, Nathan maintains his mental health in a variety of ways. Evening rides with Wyatt is one.
You go left, I go right. No, I go left, you go right.
Giving back to the organizations that helped him through the years is another way. He is an ambassador for the BC Center for Ability, as well as a volunteer swim coach with his old club.
So what we're gonna do is you're gonna swim down, do a turn. I'm gonna push off, I'm gonna give you quick feedback.
I think first and foremost, he wants to give back to the club because he got a lot from it. The second thing is he likes teaching. He likes showing kids what to do. He gets satisfaction from teaching others and passing on his knowledge to other kids.
So we're gonna do one more head-to-head race, but we're gonna switch it up now.
I've had people in my corner fighting for me, going beyond what they needed to do. There's kids, there's people there who maybe not have that, and it's important to have someone in that corner that can show them what they're capable of doing. That's why I love coaching, that's why I love being at the BC Center for Ability and love doing all of these projects that I do. There's no better feeling than seeing a kid reaching a goal, reaching a time they wanted to, and just seeing that joy and jubilation on their face.
The other way Nathan is maintaining his good energy is by setting and focusing on new goals. The biggest one right now is making Canada's paracycling team for the 2024 Paris Paralympics. His friends and family have no doubts he'll reach his new goal.
When all the odds are up against him, he'll find a way to get the job done.
I know he can do it all. And yeah, I want to be there in Paris.
I think it's totally achievable. I mean, he's determined to do it, and just like he was for swimming, and he's not afraid, and he knows he can do it. So he'll just keep pushing till he does.
Since I came out of my mental health, I haven't been great about hiding stuff. What I went through the last, will be 7-8 years, hopefully when Paris comes around, knock on wood, it would mean the world.